Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be travelling to Maldives. He will be in Maldives tomorrow, and with me is the former President of Maldives, Mohamed Nasheed, who is known for many things, including, of course, his focus on climate change. So welcome to WION. Pleasure to have you. And let me start with the big question, the obvious question as well. How do you see the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to your country?
Well, thank you very much for having me. We are very pleased that the Prime Minister is able to come to the Maldives for our 60th Independence Day. You would know that we've had a period of bad or disrupted relations with the government of Maldives and India. But fortunately, the government of the Maldives has been able to overcome these challenges and now have better relations with the government of India. Now, we of course have very good relations with the people of India, the Maldives and India, and that goes for many, many hundreds of years, and that hasn't changed at all. But as I mentioned, it is very encouraging that even the present government now has a pro-India foreign policy. So now we are in this situation where across the spectrum of Maldives politics, relations with India are good. So it's very good that the Prime Minister is coming. And I believe with the Prime Minister's visit, we would also then see a rapid increase in tourist arrivals to the Maldives from India.
But will you say that past is past, as you pointed out, to the pro-India policy as well? We saw a little blip in the relationship. Now, of course, that has been overcome. But do you think that it is now past, it won't reoccur?
Well, I do not believe that the vast majority of the people would want to encourage any anti-Indian sentiments in the Maldives. I am a politician, and the Maldivian Democratic Party is a pro-Indian. We have a pro-India first foreign policy. And we win elections, and there's been no doubt about our popularity and our acceptance from the people. So it is not necessarily the view of the people of the Maldives. But previously, our opposition had wanted to encourage an anti-India sentiment in the Maldives for whatever reason. But I am glad now that we have passed. So we are now in a situation, as I keep mentioning, where across the board, there is alignment to Indian policies in the Maldives. I don't think it can change. I think it is here to stay. And I think the people of the Maldives and also the government of the Maldives have understood that they cannot have an anti-Indian policy and then have the people of the Maldives to prosper, have stability in the Maldives, and have security in the Maldives. It's important that we live with India and we have good relations with India.
Now, there are many sectors where there is cooperation and there has been engagement, but key sectors have been India's capacity building in your country, tourism and also defense as well. If you can perhaps talk a little about each sector, starting with defense, then tourism, and of course, India's role when it comes to capacity building, infrastructure development in your country.
Well, in 1988, the Maldives was attacked by a mercenary group. And we practically lost government for a few hours. Fortunately, India very rapidly responded and flushed the coup. And so, again, we had government for ourselves, and the terrorists were not able to win. Now, even before that, we've had relations, military exercises, joint naval exercises with India. And I think it's very important that we continue to keep having these naval exercises. We also had an agreement with India to repair our Coast Guard ships, to build a facility near Male so that we can maintain our Coast Guard fleet. Now, it is very important that we are able to police our waters because we are a fishing country and we do not allow purseaners or drift nets for international companies to come and fish in our territorial waters. We do not allow that. We fish one by one, and so therefore it's very important that we are able to police our fishing grounds, our territorial waters. To do that, we need to maintain the joint exercises with India, or we also need to maintain our Coast Guard fleet in good condition. And therefore, the Utturu Tilafalu project becomes important for both Maldives and India. Now, you would know that there are other countries who have ambition to have a stronger footing in the Indian Ocean. Larger countries have been eyeing that. And we feel that for safety and security of the Indian Ocean, not just is important for the Maldives and India, but also to the wider international community. So our close engagement with like-minded countries. Maldives is a democracy, and we would like India to be assisting us in our defense matters. I think it's very important that we maintain our defense contacts and exercises with India.
And how do you see the role of tourism as well? Because we saw that tourism became a flashpoint in the relationship. We saw comments by now suspended members of the current government as well, and that led to essentially a big diplomatic issue as well. Now, of course, it's passed. But how do you see Indian tourists helping the Maldives economy?
Well, we need Indian tourists to come. India is rapidly developing. And we don't have a view that India wants this development in isolation at the expense of its neighbors. No, that's not what India is seeking. We understand that. We want to be able to plug into your rapid development. India is now, its GDP is now over $4 trillion. It's one of the largest economies in the world. And it has a lot of very affluent people that can come to our high-end resorts. In fact, Indian tourist arrivals have been rapidly increasing, and until the difficulties came, India was our #1 market. So that is again also finding traction. Now, I think we must bury those differences and difficulties. It is very unfortunate that members of the government or anyone would want to embarrass ourselves by making such comments as they did about the Prime Minister. And the other issue of Indian plans to develop tourism in Minicoy Islands up in the north of the Maldives. I think that is also helpful to the Maldives. It would be complementary to the Maldives. It would not be a competitive market production. It would be complementary. We have known this. We have experienced this with Sri Lanka. If you come to Sri Lanka, people are more likely to come to the Maldives. It's not either or Maldives. It's not either Sri Lanka or the Maldives. Very often, it's a combined visit. And also, people usually, once you've visited a country near the Maldives, they hear about it in more clear language and they are more likely to visit us. So I think tourism development in Minicoy Islands up in the north is good, and it would be beneficial to the Maldives. And I am sure we would have expertise and knowledge on how that industry can take fashion in the Minicoy Islands. So I really don't think there is a problem here at all.
And so my last question, I know time is running out. How do you see India as the voice of the global south as well? And during the Prime Minister's visit, will there be a meeting between you and the Indian Prime Minister?
Well, I'm sure it's very usual for Indian Prime Ministers to meet political leaders and past presidents in the Maldives, and no doubt the tradition will continue. I like India to take a leading role in climate matters. Global South countries are facing, they are the vulnerable countries, and they are facing the challenges because of climate change. And I would like to see India in the forefront of investments for transition, especially investments in renewable energy. It's very encouraging that India is a member of the Solar Alliance, and we would like to see that climate investments, India is able to make investments throughout the global south. It's very encouraging that India has the leadership, and it is taking leadership in these matters.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION, and hopefully we'll meet you in Maldives very soon. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, please come, and hopefully we will meet up here in the Maldives. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.